Okay, in this segment we're going to do a test run of our test plan and make sure things are working correctly. If anything's wrong, we'll fix it. Um, but before we do that, if you recall in the last session, we added in at the user's request um, the variable on the output side for the car model. In other words, when we first did this, either the user forgot to tell us or they have updated what they want. The car model is not in the output list. And we can add that in here. I'm going to put it ahead of the messages for just a preference of mine. Car model. And that will be regurgitated, if you will. It's input. It's also going to be output. Okay, that's one place where a modification like this would happen on the output side. The other is down in the output statement of the pseudocode, where we were originally just outputting total car price. Now we're going to output the car model as well. You could add this just to the end of it, but my being a stickler for things, it does come out just ahead of it in this output line. It really doesn't matter that much, but I'm going to put it ahead of total car price. And there, now we have fixed the pseudocode and the output list. Everything else remains the same for this slight change. The other part now that we're going to look at is we've done the VBA code. We're going to run this. So we go to the macro, and by the way, if this had come up, as I've said before, if this had come up in VBPass, this is another module in your program, and it looks like this. It is not where you put your code. If it comes up originally like this, you now should know to go to Forms, Lab Form, click on Lab Form, and then this icon will get you to the code window for your code. You do not want to modify VBPass, that module. You want to modify lab form. So in here, we have our statements that we put before. Everything is as it was. And we're ready to run the test. So to do that, we come up to this, or we can come up to this run icon and run it. We have a screen. That's good so far. We're going to say run lab, and we get an expected procedure not variable for this right here. So I'm going to say OK. We're going to have to fix this. We're now in a pause mode. We're not in the original data entry mode where we entered in the code. We're not in a run mode. We're in between in what they call a pause mode. So I'm going to definitely stop the program by clicking on this icon. That'll throw us back into this looking at the lab form itself, but we want the code. So we're going to go back to this icon to get back there. Now, when we come up to that point, it was right here where that problem occurred. And it looks like I forgot to put in the equal sign. So we're going to put an equal sign in between here. Also, as I recall, price should be uppercase. But I'm wondering if that's from the dim statement. Yeah, notice that when I take the cursor away, extra price goes back to lowercase. And that only can be can only be fixed up here in the dim statement. I'll change it up here, and then it will automatically be changed down here as well, or there. As soon as I put the cursor on the line, it changes it. And now we've got it equal to where we forgot the equal sign before. So let's try again and see if now it will work. And we do get, at least this far, we get it asking for the model of the car. Now our first test is for Pluto. And sunroof, yes. And leather seats, yes. And yes. And yes. But no for a convertible. And you're receiving a special package price for the sunroof, leather seats, etc. Saves you $400, and the price it says is $21,799.96, and that's exactly what was on the document. If you go back and refer to the document on the handout for this, that's what it said it should be. So we're going to do the second test now and put in asteroid and enter a Y, and let's see, for sunroof, yes, we're going to have a sunroof here. We're going to have 3 no's. This is the test to see if the convertible and sunroof, it catches the combination. And yes, it did. Convertibles do not come with a sunroof, so that seemed to work. So now we're going to do the third test, which is pulsar, and then a yes for sunroof, a no for leather seats, 2 yeses, and a no for convertible, so we avoid that error this time. Total price for the pulsar, including extras, what you want is, it says $32,799.93. Unfortunately, the value should be on our test plan $28,999.97. So there's something wrong right here. Now the fact that this one was correct and the second one was wrong is some evidence to point to a certain problem that I'll show you in just a second. But we're going to bring this down and go try to fix that. Okay, so we're back here. We go to lab form, back to the code. And the problem is that some of the money from the first test is coming in and messing up the third test. So, and that's coming in because of extra price. Extra price is solved equal to itself plus a new amount. And nowhere in our code had we reset extra price to for the next test, and that's basically the problem. That can be seen, by the way, in your logic, and many problems, logic problems, can be solved here first before you go to physical code. Sometimes it's more difficult to see logic problems and resolve them in the physical code. It's much easier to do it in the pseudocode. So I'm going to come in here and see that yes, extra price is being set up, but between tests, when we come in for the next test, extra price will still be equal to the value that it was in the first test, and that's going to be added to, instead of, it should start at 0 each time. And that's basically how we're going to fix this, is that when we get right here, for instance, we can set extra price equal to 0 to start out with. So if we input the values and the sunroof and convertible is not the case, they're both not, we come into the else, first thing we do is set extra price to 0, and then we start in, figure out the base price, and then when we get here, it's going to be extra price equal to 0 plus. Somewhere in here it's going to be starting out at 0. So to make that change in our code, at the same place, because you want these two solutions, the physical and logical, to always be in sync, we're going to add that statement right here where we added it in the pseudocode. So now that extra price should start out at 0, and now we're ready for another test. So we'll come in here and put in Pluto again, and yes to all the questions except convertible. This is testing to see if it'll get the special package. And we again get the right values, so we haven't changed. The good stuff remains good. Now we're going to try the second test, which is asteroid. And for asteroid we have a yes, 3 no's, and a yes. This again tests to come out. Convertibles do not come with a sunroof, and that still works. Third test, asteroid has no, excuse me, it's not asteroid. Oh well, it doesn't matter a whole lot. We'll try pulsar next time, but we'll put in the right values for sunroof, which is a yes. Leather seats is a no. and a yes for custom speakers, and a yes for, and a no for convertible. And now we get 21,000. That's interesting. Well, we're going to have to stop here.